Welcome back, true crime fans.
The only sound that mattered was the hum. Not the roar of a jet engine, nor the wail of a distant siren. It was the low, electric thrum of a machine designed to erase, to flatten the world into a single, monotonous tone. It came from the air vents, the concrete floor, the very walls of my cell. It was the rhythm of ADX Florence, the sound of sanity slipping away. My name is Leo, or at least it was. Here, I'm just a number. My crime wasn't murder or terrorism. It was white collar. Billions laundered, a global financial fraud. In any other prison, I would have had a cellmate, a yard, even a chance at parole. But my co-conspirators, the ones who went straight to the feds, they feared me. They called me a master of manipulation and convinced the judge I was too dangerous to ever interact with another person again. So they sent me here, to the Alcatraz of the Rockies, a place built to contain minds, not bodies. My first week was a blur of silence and isolation. My 7 by 12 foot cell, all poured concrete, felt like a sarcophagus. There was no window, only a narrow slit in the wall that showed a rectangle of sky. My bed, my desk, my stool, all cold, hard stone. Meals were pushed through a slot in the steel door. My only human contact was the hand that slid my tray, a disembodied limb in a uniform. But then came the clicking. It was a slow, deliberate tapping from the cell next to mine. Click, click, click. Pause, click. At first, I thought it was just some prisoner, a man driven mad by the silence. But as the days turned into weeks, I started to notice a pattern. The clicking was a code. It was a language, a rhythm that broke the suffocating hum. I would lie on my concrete bed, my ear pressed to the cold floor, and listen. It was a lifeline, a shared secret between two ghosts. My whole life, I had been a master of patterns. I saw them in numbers, in stock markets, in people's behavior. Here, I found a new one. I started to tap back, a simple response at first, then more complex. I learned the code. The man next door was named Jonah. He wasn't a criminal. He was a political prisoner, a former government analyst who had uncovered something so explosive, they locked him away to prevent him from ever telling anyone. His message was a chilling blueprint of this place. The S3 Pathways project wasn't just a rumor. It was real. The government was perfecting a mind control technology. I wasn't just a prisoner. I was a living experiment. The sensory deprivation, the constant hum. It was all designed to break our minds, to make us susceptible to a new kind of control. My world, already small, shrank to just me and Jonah. We tapped out our days, our conversations a staccato of hope and terror. He told me about the others, the whispers and the screams that came from the more dangerous inmates. He said they weren't just criminals. They were the failed experiments, the ones who had lost their minds to the hum. But as the days bled into each other, a new tension emerged. I started hearing more than just the clicking. Sometimes, a third erratic tap would join us. It was fast and chaotic, a jarring rhythm that made my skin crawl. It was like static on a clear radio signal. When I asked Jonah about it, he was silent for a full day. When he finally responded, his message was a single, terrifying word. Them. The third tapper wasn't another prisoner. It was one of the failed experiments. The hum grew louder. My reality began to blur. Was I talking to Jonah? Or was my mind fabricating a conversation to survive? Was the third tapper even real? Or was it a new symptom of my unraveling sanity? The tension became unbearable. I was on the brink of losing myself to the hum, to the same madness that had consumed the others. One day, the hum stopped. The silence was more deafening than any noise. My heart pounded against my ribs. I heard the sound of my steel door unlatching, the heavy clank echoing through the now silent hall. A guard appeared. His face was obscured by a mask, but his eyes were filled with a chilling pity. He held a small plastic bag containing a pair of earplugs. "Jonah left these for you," he said in a whisper. "He knew you'd need them." My mind reeled. Jonah had been taken away. He was gone. He had tapped his final message, not a conversation about escape, but a desperate act of compassion. As the guard turned to leave, my eyes fell on the wall of Jonah's cell. It was now clearly visible from my doorway. The concrete was covered in intricate, beautiful tapestries of dots and dashes, a perfect mirror of our conversation. My stomach dropped. The third tapper had never been a ghost. It had always been me. The hum had never stopped. I had just gotten used to it. The third tap, the chaotic static, was just me, losing my grip on reality. I was the failed experiment. My mind was the machine, and the true terror of ADX wasn't what they did to you on the outside. It was what they made you do to yourself on the inside.